to end March, every day, this man had to strap his ankle, okay? Because he had an ankle injury, played right through the World Cup with that ankle injury. One day, because he was focusing on the match or his practice and his training session, suddenly he says, I was feeling something in my hand. He says, and I looked at my hand and I saw brown and red. What had happened was a chunk of flesh from under his big toe had come out and was in his hand. He looked around because it was all strapped, so he pulled out the bandage, and with the bandage, because he'd pulled it out, not taking care, the chunk of flesh had come out, and it was sticking in his hand. So he looked around to see if there was anybody there to come and fix it for him. There was nobody there, so he got up. He carries a scissor as part of his, or carried as part of his cricket coffin, cut that portion of the bandage, put the flesh back, went and practiced again. Professionalism, dedication, discipline, whatever you want to call it, and that same match gets a 98 against Sri Lanka, 97. It's unbelievable. And when he said this story to me, I mean, first you sort of cringe. I mean, what are you talking about? Flesh, blood, it comes out in your hand, you look, and you put it back.
Mad Max kind of thing.
It's unbelievable. So, and he would keep doing that. He would, I mean, it's not the one example that I can give you. I can tell you 10 more such examples. When 2001 Zimbabwe, he was batting in that match with Rahul Dravid, suddenly he says, there was a sensation in my big toe, and my whole body temperature went up, because he actually had fractured the sesamoid bone. And he continued batting, winning the match for India. And then when Andrew Lepus saw it, he said, you're out for the next 4 months. And he says, fine, I will listen to you, but tell me this after the final. Before the final, just strap it, and I'm going to go out there and play. He got a duck in the final. That's different. But the fact is, he told Andrew Lepus, I'm out for 4 months after the final. Before the final, just shut up, strap my toe, I will go out there and play for India.
Super. I've delayed Soumya from reading out from his book.
No, this is in response to your previous question, which is what he might mean for India and the whole brand India and brand Tendulkar thing. He appeared to epitomize certain values a growing, changing India continued to cherish. Courtesy, humility, deference to elders, a spotless public life, and a zealously guarded private one. With Tendulkar, we as Indians could have it both ways, and were delighted by that. He typified the best of both worlds that we think we strive to inhabit. Once upon a time, he was a son every mother wanted. Now, in the autumn of his career, he has become the father every daughter would like to have. The iconography has accordingly changed. As a teenager, he did ads for an energy-boosting drink for children. Towards the end of his playing days, he endorsed life insurance. He was Indian sports' first global brand. Without him, there would have been no MS Dhoni, no Virat Kohli, no Yuvraj Singh. The staggering amount of money that Dhoni and Kohli make today from endorsements has been possible only because Tendulkar unlocked that potential. As cultural critic and author Mike Marchese, who died last week, as you know, suggested an essay in Wisden India Cricket, the intensity of the Tendulkar cult is about much more than just cricket. Unwittingly and unwillingly, he has found himself at the epicenter of a rapidly evolving popular culture shaped by the intertwined growth of a consumerist middle class and an increasingly aggressive form of national identity. Had Tendulkar not been such a colossal success, the allure of cricket as a life-transforming career would not have been so well defined. Hundreds of thousands of boys and young men across India today would not have had the courage to dream of the alchemy cricketing success can provide. As it turns out, they do. On the Maidan in Calcutta, in Shivaji Park in Bombay, on fields in Bihar and Jharkhand, in expensive cricket academies all over the country. The boy growing up in a wealthy family in a big city dreams that that life, that fame, will be his with just as much intensity as the struggler in a village without even a railway station. That's Mahmud Shami, by the way. He grew up in a village which didn't even have a railway station.
Which village was this?
Somewhere in Uttar Pradesh. Tendulkar's role in creating belief in this meritocracy, a meritocracy that has seen the underprivileged small town boy compete with his empowered big city counterpart, cannot be overemphasized. Dhoni and Pujara are examples of the success of small town boys against big city counterparts such as Dhawan, Kohli, and Rohit Sharma. Only a select few, whether from the hinterland or the big cities, break through to become successful at the international level. Even they are aware of how fleeting and how rare the chances are. Even they are aware of how forcefulness of their desire. But that in no way dilutes what they want, because that is the stuff dreams are made of.
Super. I'm going to ask you a pretty tight question. Has Indian cricket influenced Tendulkar or has Tendulkar influenced Indian cricket?
I think it's both, isn't it? Because there's no one who's sui generis.
Who's
You,
done it?
you have to have a canon. You have to have a background.
Has Indian cricket influenced Tendulkar more than Indian cricket has influenced Indian cricket? I mean, which
I
is
don't
influenced?
know if you can do a sort of quantitative thing on that or have a qualitative answer. I would go for a qualitative answer is that he is part of the canon. He's part, of course, of the great Bombay school of batsmanship. There's Gavaskar, there's Vengsarkar, there's Sardesai, there's Manjrekar. And then he, in turn, has exercised an enormous amount of influence on people who followed. So I think it's both ways. It rubs off, and that's exactly how it should be.
Boria, you would want to take a crack at that.
You
Who's
know,
influenced to what extent?
Again, I mean, it has to be a subjective answer. But I think where he has influenced Indian cricket more is to show the ability to withstand pain. I mean, I don't think even all credit, all respect to the generation before without helmets. Tendulkar, and we don't know about many of them. I'll give you one more example. 2008, today's Republic Day, actually nice day to tell you the story. 15th of August, Tendulkar has one operation, and 24/7 media, by the way, each of us are part of that, at least the two of us are part of that. We would want to deconstruct every little thing that Tendulkar did. 2008, peak of his form, just won that Commonwealth Bank series in Australia, Monkey Gate, post-Monkey Gate. 2015, 15th August 2008, has an operation for Gilmer's groin one side. The next day has an operation on the other side. Alone in Berlin, Munich, sorry. Comes back, can't stand, understandably, 2 operations. Medical advice, 2.5 months, don't even play. Plays a test match against Australia in 6.5 weeks in Bangalore. Okay? And in that series, Saurav's retirement series, gets 100 as well. This is one of many. I mean, I think the ability to sort of absorb pain and go and excel for India. 1999, the Chennai 136 against Pakistan. That level, and what did he do? He said, I was batting at both ends. I was actually, when even Nayan Mongia was batting, he was following the ball around. So from the wicketkeeper to the bowler, to the slip fielder, to the mid-off fielder, to finally to Wasim or whoever was bowling. So he was following the ball around.
Why?
Just so that, the pain could not take over and he could concentrate. Now this is just surreal. I mean, it's unbelievable. Where Indian cricket has changed with him, I mean, sledging is so part of our game these days, right? Waqar Younis came and said on the 3rd evening after he'd gotten 2 wickets, India was 6 for 2, came and said to Tendulkar, ball dikh raha hai. If it was Virat Kohli, he would have showed the middle finger. Sachin just said, I was about to say something and he said, itna bhi jor nahi dal rahe ho ki nahi dikhega.
Wow.
And there is a difference there. The aggression is also different with Tendulkar. Steve Waugh in 1992 was constantly sledging him. First tour of Australia. He called Steve, and right through his career, he and Steve had this going between the two of them. I can tell you more. He called Steve and he said, I will engage in a banter with you once you make the Australian team. You're still part of New South Wales and not Australia. So come and sledge at me once you make Team Australia. I'm part of the Indian
He must
team.
have been, what, 19? Or
He was 19.
19.
He was 19. Steve was a few years older. So, when you've sledged him, and he's actually gotten under the skin of the Australians several times, 2001 series, 1998 series, when Steve was out handling the ball, it was Sachin who was constantly provoking Steve, saying Jason Gillespie was batting, and Steve tried to take a single, and he said, Dekho, Australian captain hai, bhag raha hai, and Jason Gillespie has to save him. And Steve got so furious, he actually got out handling the ball. So, Tendulkar's aggression is something that I think he's given Indian cricket, which was we attribute it to Saurav, but it's a different kind of aggression that Tendulkar gave.
With dignity?
With dignity, which I think Virat should sort of take now. I mean, this whole on your face kind of thing that Virat brings to the table, which I've got no problem with as long as he scores 100 after another. But Sachin, if somebody thinks he was not aggressive and was, just this quiet boy who only scored runs, is absolute bollocks.
Soumya, where does Indian cricket go from here without Tendulkar?
That we've been seeing for the past 1 year or so, isn't it? I think the main thing is that the new bunch, while they're spectacularly talented, explosively talented, some of them, we need to really give them time. We need to see the vacuum that they're filling. This is the most successful test team of all time, of any generation, that they're replacing. Sehwag, Kumble, VVS, Ganguly, Tendulkar, Dravid. So the Super Six or the Fab Four, whichever way you want to look at it. Harbhajan and Zahid sort of on the cusp of greatness because of inconsistency, never really that great. But that is what you're up against. That is what you're stepping into. And I mean, think of Australia after the three big players retired all in 1984, Lilly, Marsh and Chappell. Think of post-Pele Brazil football. Think of post-Invincibles Arsenal Football Club 2005 onwards. You see it in any team sport. And it takes a long, long time. So I think we need to be patient. And I think they've done far better than you would have expected. They nearly won a test in South Africa. They could have won a test in New Zealand. They did win a test in England, which the previous incumbents did not. They won the Champions Trophy. They walloped England recently. So I think we need to be patient.
Coming to my last couple of questions of the session, if this audience here had to imbibe something from Tendulkar, what would it be, as explained again through an anecdote?
Again, I mean, the two words keep coming back, modesty and humility. Maybe even love for food. I mean, something that you have to in Kolkata, and love for food. I mean, Tendulkar is a massive foodie. He would eat 3 times the amount you and I would have for lunch, trust me. We had several lunch.
Have you actually seen him eating?
Several times.
Yeah.
I mean, I was coming to that anecdote.
What is the kind of quantity?
All kinds of food.
What is the kind of quantity?
It's a lot of food. Let's put it that way. But in London, in his St. Mary's Court apartment, he would insist he would do the dishes after lunch. Sachin Tendulkar Bashan Majje is quite a sight, isn't it? He would insist he would do that several times. Several times.
Which means even your plate if required?
Yeah. I mean, he kept saying, you've come to my place, don't worry about it. And I would feel very embarrassed. I mean, all of us, when we've been abroad, we know that we would do our own, right? And just do it. He would, no, you make the tea, I'll do the dishes. He would make it very casual, but he would do it. And he can cook. He's cooked on New Year's Day for 45 people, Began Bharta in his Masuri.
45
people. So he knows how to cook, not many dishes, but he knows. I will tell you one anecdote, and again, I mean, he was here in Kolkata for a private function of mine last month on 18th of December. And because Sachin was there at home, the news had trickled, and a lot of students from Bhattacharya College and from around, and loads of people had come to the house. I mean, in front of the house, there were 4,000-5,000 people. So I was at one level uncomfortable, another level scared. How do I get this man out of the house, send him back to the airport? And he said, don't worry about it. Let me at least go to the terrace and wave. And people started screaming, Sachin, Sachin, okay? I've never seen this happen. A tram was going. Anyone who knows North Calcutta well, that College Street tramway across Bidhan Sharoni, the tram was going. Sachin was there. Chat theke, he was waving. Suddenly the tram driver stops the tram, gets off. The entire, everybody in that tram gradually come out and start waving at the man.
The tram is stuck in the middle of the road.
Stuck in the middle of the road.
It's Calcutta.
It's Calcutta, right? I mean, it was, and he then went down, tried to sign a few autographs. If you really want to learn something from him, it's modesty and humility. If you want to enjoy life, he loves his food. He, trust me, loves his food. Whether it's mishti, every time I travel, he would insist, bring the Notun Gurer souffle from Boloram Mollik, bring the Girisher Jolbhora. He would insist on particular mishtis that he loves. He's an absolute foodie.
That's great news for all of us, who have a sweet tooth and who really don't have to look at our waist. I mean,
no, he would
then go and do, in his case, he would probably...
He would then go and do 3-4 hours, which you and I wouldn't. So,
how hard? Hey, let me ask, how hard would he work on his body?
Hugely. I mean,
how hard?
Okay, operation in 2 of his fingers, operation 2 of his 3 of his fingers in his foot, operation in the ankle, operation in his thigh, operation in both sides of his groin, operation in where else? I mean, obviously, when he got hit in the head, how much more can a body take? Every part of the body has taken a hit.
Have you actually seen him work out?
I have several
long?
times.
How hard?
No, I wasn't there for the full duration. We've talked while he was doing it. He's got his headphones on. I went, spoke to him several times. But he would do it in bursts. He would do it some days, then take off. He's not a sort of, everyday going gym freak.
He's
but he
not.
would do it, no. He would do it in bursts rather than every day.
Soumya, you? What is it that the audience can imbibe from a person like him?
Tendulkar?
Yes.
No, I think
What's
we've
our take home?
Well, we have talked about that, and I think there's really nothing more to say, other than
Professional excellence.
yeah, and humility and modesty and all the rest of it. I think,
Isn't it true? Would you not agree? Dream, if you have a dream, he would allow you to.
yeah, I mean, which is what I was talking about. No, I'd much rather actually talk about the fact that what he leaves behind, which is very important, and what it means to Indians and particularly cricket fans and sports fans anywhere else. I think that's what I'll end with. Which is because it's happened to most of us, and given how long his career has spanned, and in the penumbra of that career, what has